still don't write anything for Monica. That's... Let's see. Do I still want to write for Yuri, or do I want to... I mean, I guess I can really hit anything. It would probably go for both of them. What if I kind of spread it between the two? Desire, bubbles, sensation, time. Oh, socks, sugar, fantasy, unrestrained, secretive, candy, unrequited, sparkle, judgment, kiss, unending, joy, heart, vivid, melody, cage. Oh, there's a notepad file. There's a notepad file in the folder. It's called Can You Hear Me? There's a little devil inside of all of us is the title. Beneath our manufactured perception, their artificial reality is a writhing, twisted mess of dread, loathing, judgment, entitlism, self-doubt, all thrashing to escape the feeble hold of their host, seeping through every little crevice they can find into their willpower, starving them of all motivation and desire into their stomach, forcing them to drown their guilt in comfort food, or until a newly opened gash in their skin, hidden only by the sleeves of a cute new shirt, such a deplorable, tangled mess is already present in every single one of them. That's why I chose not to blame myself for their actions. All I did was untie the knot. Interesting. That is very interesting. I'm gonna put that in a fresh new notepad so that I don't lose that, because I don't know if these files delete themselves or what. Okay. Hi again, Xephoria. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Also, we fixed the poster. Also, is this room slightly tilted? I feel like this room is slightly more tilted than it was in the past. I could be wrong, though. Anyway, nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I kept my word. Well, I'm back in the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Oh no, Yuri. Thanks for keeping your promise, Xephoria. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. These are just little glitches, and I'm just... Yeah, I'm pretty sure the background is slightly tilted because... Like the characters are slightly closer, so I think it's slightly closer and, like, tilted to the side. I think the audio just glitched out there. Oh gosh, why am I being so frightened by this?
Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica.
I already have my volume, like, half of what it was. It's not noticeable for you guys, but, like, I have turned it down so much, because, like, I don't know if there's gonna be, like, a screamer jump scare, or if it's just gonna be these, like, minor little glitches. I'm a weenie. This is why I don't usually do horror games. This is probably the closest I'm getting.
You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it.
Natsuki, certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps manga collection in the classroom. Oh boy. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga.
Manga is literature.
Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Xephoria. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Okay. Now that you're in the club and all,
Perhaps you might have an interest in picking up a book to read.
Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask.
Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess.
No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'll be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to.
Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like.
Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book.
I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted.
How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book.
Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think.
Oh, yay, everything got fixed. For now. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki's rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time I feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. Okay, so I guess I put a few more words for Yuri in my poem. Okay, I was trying to get it put together. I guess it would have made more sense for me to have it be mainly Natsuki, but as long as she doesn't die in this act, we can try that for next time. It looks like the same book she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and her eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable.
Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading this a bit, so...
That's the book you just gave me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yuri, your eye is,
I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason.
Does that happen with all of them, or was it just happening for that sprite? Okay. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book?
Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them.
I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon.
I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story.
Is that so? What's the story about, anyway?
Well,
I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye on the front cover.
Basically, it's about this religious camp that has turned into a human experiment prison, and the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the faculty gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and fixing them to... that might be a little bit of a spoiler.
Wait, this is a different book.
But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean, not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of
dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, but that dark turn came out of nowhere. So maybe it is a good thing that I kind of went more for Yuri, because then I wouldn't have noticed these subtle changes. 'Cause I'm pretty sure the first one was like a bunch of these people were going after the main character, and so she was making a bunch of mistakes and stuff. But then this one is just like about that factory that was going like, about her, I think. Huh. Okay.
Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Xephoria?
No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kind of stories, so don't worry.
I hope so.
Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri was into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different.
It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life in a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Then suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything.
Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body gets incredibly...
What?
I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange.
What does your body incredibly do?
And please stop me if I start talking too much.
I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. And the least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all.
That's true.
In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
Yes.
Gosh, that made my body internally jump. You know that feeling?
I mean, you don't have to, but...
What are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone.
I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
Alright.
I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing as I look over my shoulder in real life. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead.
Sorry, I was just bathing in the feeling of your body.
Oh, Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do? I don't really mean to.
I'm gonna have fun reading these like fast text things when I'm editing this and just be like, huh, interesting, Yuri.
Sorry. I mean...
Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold my book open. I guess it makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
Oh gosh, how are they gonna mess this up? Oh gosh, I am looking everywhere. So far, nothing looks messed up. I'm hoping it's just gonna be text mess-ups, but... from what I can tell from this, it's gonna be different. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same thing with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn the page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready?
To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me and I turn it to my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not.
Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that.
That's what you were thinking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her.
Something else?
Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head.
Yuri, are you feeling alright?
Eh?
Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little...
My breathing?
Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat.
I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water.
Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the bathroom, or out of the classroom. What on earth was that about?
Xephoria? Did something happen just now?
I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess.
So you don't know anything?
Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her?
Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure you didn't do anything to her.
No, nothing.
Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does that sometimes, so it's nothing alarming.
Alright, if you say so.
Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other?
Shouldn't we wait for Yuri?
Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we start without her. Is that okay?
Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. Make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Okay, let's go for Monica. I should start with Monica. Yesterday she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want to know if I'm putting in effort.
Hi, Xephoria. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we could do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. The walls are adjusting and making very slight noises, and I'm very uncomfortable with that. I'm much better off going with the flow until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, I want to share your poem with me.
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Don't worry, Xephoria. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem.
This is a load of hot garbage. Great job, Xephoria. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go to something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easier for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort.
That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean like that like it's a bad thing though, but sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she used to be indulged like that. She must really be starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming off too strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. All right. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know?
I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in the wall. Okay, I'm gonna read through this just in case it's different, but it's titled the same. He wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there.
Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. That's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening.